Did you know there are 16 unique and beautiful maps to choose from in Planet Zoo? I'm ZSH Plays, and I'm going to show you all the best maps that you can use to build your zoos and how to get access to them from the main menu so you can start building. Alright, so in order to access any of the 16 maps that I'm going to show you today, we're going to go to Sandbox and then New Zoo, and then for some of the maps it'll be Create New Zoo, select a biome, and then select a continent, and I'll tell you which one to do for each map as we go along. Otherwise, we'll be going to Scenario Zoo and selecting one of the different scenarios. Now, if you don't have these all unlocked, then don't worry. All the ones that don't require DLC are on the workshop, and you can just search for those on the workshop and download them. Some of these do require DLC, and I'll make sure to let you know when we look at each map. So the first type of map that we're going to look at are the desert maps, and there are 5 of these in the game, which I did not know until I made this video, which is really annoying because I really could have used them. You want to make sure for almost all of these maps that we choose the terrain type as flat. There is one map which requires sculpted, and again I'll let you know when we get to it. So let's hit Create Zoo and check out the maps. So we start off in the desert. There are 5 desert maps available. This is probably the most common, the North American desert. You can get this in Sandbox by going to the desert biome and any continent you like apart from Oceania. Next up we have a variation on that, the Mexican desert. This is a scenario map, and this is the Mexican Conservation Park scenario. You can see the huge mesas in the background of the North American desert are a lot smaller here, and it gives you a bigger horizon to play with. Next up, we'll hit the Outback with its really distinctive orange sand. You get this by selecting the desert biome and then the Oceania continent. There's also a variation on this with less orange sand and a sort of Uluru kind of effect here, which I'm calling the Rocky Outback. This is a really, really nice map, and this is from the Tanami Roadside Zoo scenario. The final map is probably my favorite desert map. I wish I had discovered this earlier. This is an African desert taken from the El Dara Bazaar scenario, and that blank horizon is just amazing for making a desert where you can have that desert be anywhere in the world that you like. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the tropical maps. There are 4 of these, which again you might not be aware of, and the first of them is probably the most popular map in Planet Zoo. It is the standard South American map. You get this by choosing the tropical biome and any continent you like, as long as you've set the terrain to flat. Next up we have a really interesting variation on that, the South American mountain, which you get again by selecting the tropical biome, but you have to select the South American continent and change the terrain type to sculpted. Next up we got a variation on the South American theme, which I'm calling South American Hills, which is subtly different to the normal South American map and has some nice terrain in it already, which obviously you can smooth out and get rid of if you don't like it. And finally we have probably the most unique tropical map in the game, the Japanese Islands. This is a scenario map from the Yamaguchi Prefecture scenario, and yeah, you get actual sea and this beautiful island which you can build a zoo in, although the buildable area is very small. Next up we have the Temperate Maps. There are 2 of these. Firstly, probably the map that everyone builds their first zoo on, the European farmland, and we also have a variation on this without the farms, which is great for having less of a sort of English countryside kind of look, which is the European wetland map available in the Cast Maya scenario. So a lot of sculpted terrain for you to put water in, or you can just flatten it out and build a normal zoo, but you won't have those rolling hills of farmland in the background, which could be really useful. The next biome we're going to look at is the Taiga biome. There are 2 subtly different maps for this. The North American Taiga, which you get by selecting the Taiga biome and any continent you like, and then a slightly different variant of it, which is available by using the Red Barn River Zoo scenario. Next up we have Tundra. There are 2 maps here, and probably 2 of the most beautiful maps in the game. The first is the Arctic map, which you can get by selecting the Tundra biome and any continent you like, and you get this completely snow-covered map, which is really beautiful. And then probably my favourite map in the game, although I've never actually used it to build anything because it's very specific, is this Norwegian mountain lake, which you can get by selecting the Goodwin Arctic Research Park scenario, and it is really amazing. Absolutely love this map. The final type of map is the Grassland Map, and there is only one of those. It is the classic African savanna, which you get by selecting the grassland biome and any continent that you like, and you get this beautiful African savanna to play with. There are various other scenario maps available, which are basically just the same backgrounds but with a different buildable area or some sculpted terrain already in there for you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see some of the things that I've built with these maps, then make sure you subscribe and check out some of the other videos on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.